So I'm going to get to step 10, 11, and that's getting these like 3 pentagons into this like extrusion tube thing. I need to put a new sketch on top of this, and I'm going to use a new tool called Project Geometry. Project Geometry is nice because I can take the lines in the other sketch and use them for this sketch. A lot of people have had problems in the past where they're working on a sketch on top of another sketch, and they need those lines from the other sketch in this one in order to extrude it or revolve it or whatever. So this one works really, really well to do that. That's the purpose of this tool. I can select the lines individually by hovering over the lines. However, it does let me, if I click kind of in the middle of this and everything's green, if I click that, all these lines just shows up yellow now. These are all borrowed from the layer below it. So now these lines exist, these shapes exist in my new sketch, in sketch 2, even though they were originally drawn in extrusion 1. So I've got those. Now to make the kind of tube things that they're showing on the steps, I'm going to go down to like 11B-ish. So they say offset 0.1 inches. So offset is this tool right here. And I can click the shape and go out. It says 0.1. It's going to let me do that. And then it says something about a fillet, but I'll do that later. 0.1. Offset 0.1. Alright, mine overlaps here. Again, I'm sort of following this fairly okay, but I got a few issues with my sizing. So it does say to give it a fillet of 0.2. So fillet is something you can do in 3 dimensions. You can also do it in 2 dimensions. Right here is fillet and 0.2. So I can go around rounding everything. I think you can also just click on the corners if it lets you hover. There we go. If you kind of go to the corner, it'll let you just click on it. Hey, they don't overlap now. Hey, come on. Okay. Come on. If you click on both lines, it works. But there's a little bit of a, you click away from it and it still works. Okay, cool. So I got that. There's my fillets, my 2D fillets. Finish sketch. Now I'm going to extrude. So it's actually using the inner line that I borrowed with the Project Geometry, and then the outer one is the one that we just did that was a fillet. So that's how you do something like that. I'm just going to extrude at 0.5. Alright, and then for my students, because I want you to turn in a screenshot of this, not the actual file, I'm going to show you another thing. I'm going to make another sketch. So we've got all these other extrusions, but right here, I'm going to go to this corner. So this is sketch 3. You're going to put your name. So there's this text box right underneath fillet, which is a tool that we just used. And I just want you to put your initials. It doesn't matter the orientation for this right now. If it is in the wrong spot, you can use move, select geometry, and then base point is like where you're grabbing it from. So it doesn't really matter where you're grabbing it from. You can do that. Done. If you don't like the orientation, you can rotate it. Selecting geometry again first, and then selecting the center point, which is where is it going to rotate from. It doesn't even have to be on the shape. Like I could technically select down here, and that's just where is my like lever for this spinning. Finish sketch. I'm going to extrude that. Like 1/4 of an inch should be fine. But there we go. So if you can send me a screenshot of your initialed block, just make sure this is legible. If that extrusion is too thick, it's actually going to be easier to read if it's thinner. So as long as I can tell what it is. But there's your initials. There's the shapes. Used a few different tools to make this. But a screenshot of this is what I will have my students turn in. Thank you. Let me know if you have any questions.